Okay, in this problem, we've got Pat. Pat is buying some pens at Walgreens, and they're 60 cents each. But then she goes and spends the exact same amount of money at the bookstore on pens. She buys pens at the bookstore. She buys pens at Walgreens. She spends the same amount of money, but the pens cost more at the bookstore. And she buys 42 pens. So the question is, how many pens did she buy? So this one's a little bit confusing. So let's just set up a guess and check table here. I've got number of bookstore pens she buys. That's what we're trying to figure out. And it's usually at the thing we're trying to find is what we want to set up in our guess column. Then the cost of the bookstore pens at, by the way, 80 cents each. All right. And then the number of Walgreens pens, and that's going to be, she buys 42 total, so whatever's left over out of the 42. And then the total cost of the Walgreens pens, which was 60 cents each. So let's just pick a number like 10. We buy 10 bookstore pens, so at 80 cents each, that's 10 times 0.8 is $8. Walgreens pens, well, that would be 32 remaining Walgreens pens times 60 cents each. We've got a calculator here. That's not like doing that in my head. 0.6 times 32 gives us $19.20. $19.20. And you can see we were told, by the way, that she spent, let's check, the same amount of money at the bookstore that she did at Walgreens. But here, these are clearly not the same amount of money. It's $8 versus $19.20. So 10 pens at the bookstore is not correct. Let's try another. Let's try 15 pens. 15 pens at the bookstore. And then we've got, let's see, 15 times 80 cents each will be $12. And the number of Walgreens pens will be she bought 42 total, so take away 15, that'd be 27 pens. And 27 times 0.6 is $16.20. So $16.20. So still not the same, but seems like we're getting a little bit closer. So maybe we're headed in the right direction. Now, of course, the guess and check table isn't ultimately how you want to solve this. I mean, it's a good way to find a solution, especially since in this case it's going to be a whole number of pens. It seems unlikely that she bought, say 20 and a half pens or something like that. So it's a guessable number. But what you really want to do is come up with an equation for solving this. So find it using the guess and check table, but ultimately, yes, set up and solve an equation is your goal.